Fashion shows and hip restaurants aren't the only places where Hollywood A-listers are introduced. Some end up being the strangest way to meet somebody in the world, as Adam Levine put it when he first met Jennifer Hudson. On the February 25 broadcast of The Jennifer Hudson Show, Levine, who is back as a judge for his 17th season with The Voice, made an appearance. Levine began the interview by narrating how she first met Hudson prior to her joining The Voice as a judge in season 15. And it all began when a hotel in Tokyo received a late-night fire alarm. To get everyone out of the building, Levine claimed he went full Bruce Willis, Die Hard, going down the hallways and knocking on doors. Levine immediately grabbed his keys and wallet and made his way out, with no way of knowing that Hudson, who was staying at the same hotel, was doing the same. As I descend the stairs, I asked myself, is that Jennifer Hudson? Levine remembered. I think, Jennifer. Then she asks, Adam? It's nice to meet you, I reply. You guys, I was fanning out, Hudson said. I thought, oh my God, that's Adam Levine, as if there were a massive fire. Is it possible for me to receive an autograph? My name is Jennifer Hudson. Although Levine and Hudson would later learn that there was no fire, they gave each other a brief embrace because they thought they could be in danger. Levine then resumed running Bruce Willis style to assist in directing others out of the building. Ironically, Levine and his band, Maroon 5, were just in Tokyo as part of a brief Asian tour that included 8 performances across 6 nations. After starting in Manila on January 29, the tour continued on to Jakarta, Bangkok, and 3 stops at the Tokyo Dome. Following their performance in Kuala Lumpur, the band concluded their tour in Taiwan on February 14. Levine informed Hudson that the addition of his family made the tour even more incredible. Levine and his wife, Behati Prinsloo, have 3 children, a 2-year-old son, and 2 girls, Dusty Rose, 8, and Geo Grace, 6. Levine described being able to enjoy the event with them, all as a dream coming true. When I went on tour, I used to feel so far away from home. But having my family, there was like this magical moment that I had never experienced before, he said. I think that was just, like, I held on to it tightly and just had one of the best times out on the road I've ever had, the speaker said. And I've experienced a lot, but not that. Certain celebrity friendships seem predestined, as if 2 celebrities are meant to meet paths in front of flashing cameras and blinding lights. Others start off in ways that seem so improbable and oddly ideal that they seem to have been predetermined by Hollywood. When you hear the tale of Adam Levine and Jennifer Hudson's first encounter, you can't help but smile at how fate, chaos, and music came together to create a memorable moment. With resumes that include chart-topping hits, accolades, television stardom, and cultural influence, Levine and Hudson are both international superstars. Millions of fans have respected them, and they have shared stages and red seats on The Voice. However, their relationship didn't start out elegant, glitzy, or even planned. Indeed, they said, it was the sort of moment that only occurs when the cosmos chooses to play around. One unexpected intersection. 2 completely different routes. Adam Levine and Jennifer Hudson were already leading rather different lives as celebrities when they first met. As the lead singer of Maroon 5, a group that skillfully combined pop, rock, and soul into tunes that dominated the radio, Levine had long established himself. He established himself as a pop culture icon and a musical mainstay thanks to his distinctive voice and tattooed appearance. His popularity was further enhanced by his position as an initial coach on The Voice, which made him a weekly fixture in American living rooms. In contrast, Jennifer Hudson's path was one of resiliency and creativity. She rose to national prominence on American Idol, where she notoriously lost, but gained admiration instead. She won an Academy Award and established herself as one of the most influential voices of her generation, thanks to her powerful vocals, emotional depth, and unadulterated authenticity, which propelled her from music to film. Although there were clear professional overlaps between their spheres, they never really crossed paths for years. Then all of a sudden they did. Not a stage, not a studio. Something completely different. It wasn't during a network meeting or backstage at an awards ceremony that Adam Levine and Jennifer Hudson eventually crossed paths. Not even a recording studio was involved. Both artists claimed that their initial encounter took place in an unusual location, which still makes them giggle when they think about it. The incident happened at a high-energy, chaotic charity event related to the music industry. One of those events when everyone is running, timetables are loose, and things don't go precisely as planned. One artist had received a separate invitation, came with their own teams, their own responsibilities, and had no intention of running into one other. Levine remembers becoming briefly confused and stumbling through a tangle of hallways in an attempt to find the right room. In the midst of the chaos, Hudson was trying to find a quiet place to warm up her voice, while also coping with her own confusion. Apparently, fate had other plans. They actually ran into each other in a small hallway. Documents fell to the floor, apologies were exchanged, and for a moment, neither of them truly recognized the other. The situation didn't become strange until a beat later, when recognition struck at the same time. Two enormous voices from contemporary music, standing clumsily in a hallway, giggling at how ridiculously commonplace their first encounter felt. The talk that made all the difference, it's what happened after they met, that makes the story even more unbelievable. Adam Levine and Jennifer Hudson ended up conversing rather than simply exchanging niceties and going on. Talking seriously. They talked about music, why they loved it, what worried them about it, and how it had unexpectedly changed their lives, rather than fame or projects. Since then, Hudson has characterized the exchange as shockingly normal, highlighting how reassuring it was to relate to someone who knew both the stress and the delight of being a performer. For his part, Levine has acknowledged that he was immediately impressed by Hudson's warmth and humor, qualities that aren't typically evident when you're witnessing someone command a stage. Missed notes, early misgivings about one's career, and the weird sensation of hearing one's own voice for the first time on the radio were all topics of conversation. It was the sort of conversation that seemed more like two artists unintentionally discovering a common ground than networking. Both of them left with the same impression when they were dragged away for their separate obligations. That was surprising and somewhat wonderful. From fortuitous meeting to creative appreciation, even if the chat in the hallway didn't result in cooperation right away, it did plant a seed. Levine and Hudson eventually met again, but with a greater purpose. An additional degree of familiarity was added to their relationship when Hudson returned to The Voice as a coach, bringing back memories of their first encounter. Behind the scenes, their bond swiftly developed into one based on respect for one another. According to Levine, Hudson has the capacity to express emotion in such a way that it is nearly overwhelming. Hudson, on the other hand, has commended Levine's musical intuition and his profound comprehension of what makes a performance connect with a crowd. Viewers witnessed glimmers of that regard manifest on The Voice in the form of light-hearted repartee, perceptive criticism, and sincere encouragement. The connection between that bond and an unplanned occurrence was not always visible to viewers. The significance of timing and its function, both musicians concur that their bond was greatly influenced by timing. It could have turned out quite differently if they had met earlier in their careers. Hudson was establishing herself in a field that had first undervalued her, while Levine was negotiating unexpected mainstream success. They were both in a place of confidence when they eventually met, safe enough to be honest, inquisitive, and uninhibited. This made it possible for their communication to be sincere rather than transactional. It serves as a reminder that sometimes the most significant business connections aren't formed in pitch sessions or boardrooms. They are created at times of common humanity, when people just connect without regard to titles. "This is too perfect," say fans in response. Fans were enthralled when Levine and Hudson finally told the tale in public. Reactions on social media ranged from shock to joy, with many people expressing how well the story reflected their own personality. Some fans made jokes about how it sounded like the first scene of a romance film, with two celebrities clashing in a hallway without knowing what was ahead. Others noted how their subsequent on-screen chemistry felt even more genuine because of the chance nature of the encounter. The notion that life may still surprise you, even if you are extremely famous, struck a chord with me. What the music industry can learn from their story, the tale of Adam Levine and Jennifer Hudson's first encounter, stands out as surprisingly natural in a field that is frequently criticized for being unduly calculating. It highlights a reality that many artists silently accept. Real connection cannot be replicated by any amount of preparation. Their story also demonstrates the value of mutual respect. Neither had any expectations or ego when they addressed the other. They bonded over their trade, met as equals, and let their relationship develop organically. Since then, their genuineness has undoubtedly enhanced everything they've done together, whether it's mentoring young vocalists or just having fun in the same room. Even now, I'm still laughing about it. Years later, Levine and Hudson are still laughing about how ridiculous their initial encounter was. They both acknowledge that they probably wouldn't have believed it if someone had told them how they would meet in advance. Levine has referred to it as evidence that the best things happen when you're not trying, while Hudson has dubbed it one of those moments that reminds you how small the world can feel. Despite the fast-paced nature of their work, that shared memory has remained a touchstone, a reminder of where their relationship started and why it still feels grounded. A tale that seems greater than stardom in the end. The celebrity element isn't what makes the tale of Adam Levine and Jennifer Hudson's encounter so captivating. At the heart of it is humanity. By coincidence, two individuals who were both burdened with achievement and expectations collided and opted for curiosity over apathy. They conversed. They paid attention. And a long-lasting professional connection was formed from that tiny, unanticipated moment. Their narrative offers something unique in a world where everything seems so planned and controlled. A reminder that magic can still happen in the spontaneous moments.